What's going on, guys? Man, LSU Recruiting HQ video coming to you from this wonderful Labor Day, capping off a weekend with a LSU loss is never a good thing. But man, we are here to talk about it. We are here to break it down. Oh man, LSU, what is going on, man? The Brian Kelly era starts and couldn't have fell flat on its face anymore. Um, LSU loses by a final score 24-23 to Florida State. Um, yeah, man, it was just first of all, it was a long night. It was a long night sitting there breaking down stuff. Just think about like how in the world that game was even real. First of all, because man, if you're just a college football fan, you don't like LSU or you don't like FSU, man, that was a crazy behind game. The emotional roller coaster the last 3 minutes of the game where it was just unbelievable. Um, but man, LSU did everything in their power to make sure they lost this football game tonight. There's still no doubt in my mind that if both teams play a clean game, that LSU most likely wins this game by a touchdown or more. Because Florida State really didn't. Jordan Travis had a great game. Don't think I'm shitting on Florida State here. Jordan Travis had a great game. They called excellent plays on third downs. The flea flicker, stuff like that. Their defense played great when they needed it. Um, but man, LSU was there to the very last play. And I'm telling you guys, they could not have put a worse performance out there, um, from a efficiency standpoint. Like they just did things that are just so simple, like special teams, like blocking schemes on the field goals and muff punts. It's just I just don't understand, like simple things like that still aren't being executed after a month of fall camp. It was just unfortunate to see that you have your best receiver, arguably one of the best receivers in the country, only have 3 catches. Um, he drops a touchdown that he probably it's not a guaranteed catch, but the ball hit him in his hands, and he brought it down to the ground and it just bobbled. Probably one that he said he expects him to catch, from an All American wide receiver. And then later on in the first half, you have the miscue where he just kind of half behind runs his route, and Jaden Daniels hits him dead in his hands, and he's not even looking for the ball. And that's 7 points taken off the board right there because Kayshawn catches that, and we're talking about a whole new game at that point. You get 7, then you have the offensive line is so much worse than people thought. A whole new unit, a freshman left tackle, and it reared its ugly head last night. If y'all want to know why Jaden Daniels is a starting quarterback, last night was a prime example of why. Because Garrett Nussmeier is not making it out of there alive last night. The Florida State rush was on Jaden Daniels all night. You have no time to throw the football. And Jaden Daniels accounted for a majority of the offensive yards because he had to. LSU had no running game. And really, until LSU started using the up-tempo stuff late in the game is when they really started clicking on offense. Really, it was just a struggle the whole game up until that point. But so you have the bad snap. Which was talked about in fall camp with the new center. You have the bad snap that cost you most likely a touchdown on the opening drive. You have a field goal blocked in the first half. Same kind of thing as the end of the game where the left side breaks down and you let a free rusher come and they block the kick. You have one kick, not just one kick, 2 kicks blocked. You have 2 muffed punts, one at a very crucial point in the game with 2 minutes left. Just like from a executional standpoint, like this team came in so unprepared, and this is exactly what we wanted out of Brian Kelly. Was so the that this stuff wouldn't happen anymore. And it just, I mean, it couldn't have went any worse for LSU. But then here you are, the football gods have blessed you. Florida State can't seal the deal. Malik Neighbors muffs the punt with 3 timeouts left in the and you're getting the ball back with 2 minutes left and some change. You're getting the ball back. You just gotta go 90 yards with 3 timeouts and 2 minutes. Instead, we muffed the kick, which, man, I feel so bad for Neighbors because, man, Kid is gonna be a star. I'm just letting y'all know that now. Kid is gonna be a star. This game is not gonna define his season. And we're going to be talking about him in November like he is one of the next great ones at LSU. I truly still believe that. Yes, he had a rough night, but so did number 7. All right, so let's not act like we're just putting all the blame on one person because it was a collective effort for no apparent reason. All right, it's mostly on this coaching staff. But anyway, so you muff the punt, right? And then Florida State gifts you. They run a halfback toss power. Why are you putting the ball in harm's way? They run in the running back. It hits off his shoulder pads and bounces in front of him. The kid from Missouri jumps on it, and LSU gets the ball at the 1 yard line when all hope was lost. All Florida State really had to do was take knees, kick the field goal. Game was over. Game was over. Oh man, they were gonna go up 2 scores. The game was gonna be completely over, and they did. They fumbled it, man. They gave you life, and LSU did exactly what everybody thought they would do in the building. They went down, and it came down to the last play, 1 second left, and Jay Daniels finds Ray Jenkins in the back of the end zone after a 99-yard potentially game tying touchdown drive to send this thing to overtime. Jane Daniels stays in the pocket, has an amazing drive, threw for 150 yards in the fourth quarter alone, out of the 200-something he had. Finds Ray Jenkins in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, and all I'm saying in my head is like, how crazy has this been? Like, what if he misses this damn extra point? I'm thinking he's gonna miss it, right? I just talked myself into that notion. And so they line it up for the extra point, and I see it immediately. Mason Taylor, the end blocker, he goes and he picks up the outside guy instead of picking the inside guy with the shorter path. If he just bumps that dude, puts a shoulder on him, bumps him off his path, LSU is sending that we're going to overtime. You can't even blame Damian Ramos. Both of the kicks he blocked were good kicks. They just poor execution from the line and on an extra point. Statistically, it is almost impossible to miss an extra point in college football from the 3 yard line. And there's going to be the guys who are out there that say they should have went for 2, all that stuff. You can say that he said, she said stuff, but at the end of the day, you've got to be able to make an extra point. You have all the momentum in the world. What's the chances you're going into overtime with the momentum? You're going into overtime with the crowd on your side. There's no excuse for not being able to execute a simple play like an extra point. And not have it happen not once but twice. You had a field goal blocked early in the game. The pressure came from the same side, and Brian Kelly said he made an adjustment. He put new guys in, and that didn't work either. So obviously Brian Polian's got to do something and get these kids, because you can't have field goals being blocked. All right, you can't have extra points with the game on the line being blocked. It can't happen. LSU did everything in their power to lose this football game, and they still should have won. They still should have won. All right? And I feel like if that game goes into overtime, with how demoralized that Florida State team was going to be after what they just witnessed, all right, the pressure was going to be on them. All right, because LSU was playing loose. They were playing fast on offense, and it was giving Florida State problems. All right? This game has so many issues, but man, you can't shoot yourself in the foot this many times and expect to beat anybody. Anybody, let alone a solid football team. I mean, you didn't get dominated in every facet of the game. You know, it was a close game. Everybody thought it was going to be a close game. LSU wasn't going to go out here and blow somebody out. They just don't got the personnel for that. That time is coming though. All right? And if you don't think I'm on the Brian Kelly train still, all right, for the long term, all right, you're mistaken. Granted, we're already starting off bad, all right, and it's on him. It's not on anybody else. It's on him because that team was not prepared. You can't sit here and tell me you did all this stuff for a month. The hype, building around this game, man, kicking off the Brian Kelly area with a win in the Superdome, getting the season started off right. And that team fell flat on their face and just was not prepared. Just was not prepared, and it is all on Brian Kelly and that coaching staff. All right, because it's simple things. It's simple things like execution. All right, catching a punt, blocking your assignment on field goals and extra points, running your route, catching the football. It's simple things. Getting the snap down. All right, being able to block somebody, mismanaging timeouts. We called another freaking timeout out of a change in possession. They went for it on 4th down and we had to burn a timeout. Went for it on 4th down. They didn't get it. The very first play coming out, LSU's not prepared. They have to use a timeout in the first half. How nice would that have been? How nice would that have been when you only had 40 seconds to go down the field and try to get some points before half? I think it would have been pretty helpful then. So, I mean, the same stuff we roasted Edo and Les Miles for, it reared its ugly head last night, and it just proves, the main takeaway that I got from this game, it just proves how far away LSU really is from getting back to that place we all want. All right? And Brian Kelly's a damn good coach, and he's going to win games here. All right, but last night was a prime example that it's not that time yet. All right, and there's still a long way to go. The one thing that I gotta praise, all right, and that I've seen in the past is there was no quit. There was not one quit in any of the players last night. Just they gave you so many. I mean, when they have the ball. After you mutt the punt, how easy would it have been on defense to just let them score? How easy would it have been to just say, you know what, we lost this game, But they didn't. They stopped them. They stopped them again, and then you get a lucky break and he fumbles. All right? They play down to the very last play. And like I said, man, give credit where credit's due. Florida State played a game. They literally just let LSU lose the game for themselves. They just didn't make mistakes. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't give LSU any momentum. They were safe and conservative with their play calling, and they just methodically marched down the field all game. All right, LSU couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. But like I said, man, the Brian Kelly era kicks off with a loss. We'll be back here later on this week previewing the Southern game. I got a feeling you're going to see both quarterbacks playing against Southern for sure. But, man, LSU's got a long way to go. But this is a team that can build every week and get better. This is not going to be a team that's going to, get worse throughout the season. They're just going to get better, man. They're a young team, a young unit on the offensive line. That offensive line plays better. We're probably talking about a different game. And like I said, your leaders have to be leaders. Jane Daniels is obviously that guy. Because he was there, every time he was there talking to Seven after the thing, getting him locked back in, saying, we need you. Comforting the guys on the offensive line. And he's just a playmaker, man, and that's what you need when you have deficiencies on your offense. You need people like Jane Daniels to make plays. I thought Jane Daniels played excellent last night. he had some bad throws. He had some times where he ran, too much instead of throwing. He didn't, but that's on play calling too. We got to get our guys the ball. We got to get Kayshawn as many touches as we can. There's no reason the best receiver in the country is only getting 3 targets. It's just rough. Like I said, the whole night was rough and a crazy game, a crazy ending with the block PAT. It was just a wild night in New Orleans. But like I said, LSU starts off the year 0-1. I had them going 8-4 winning this football game. I'd still keep my 7-5 prediction. And like I said, it doesn't get any easier. They have this month of September to get things right, but you have Mississippi State, who looks really good. So that's not going to be a cakewalk. There's not many cakewalks for LSU at this point. You're going to have to bring it every week if you want to beat teams in this league. But the improvement is what I'm looking for, and I think that's coming. So thank you guys again for watching. Go Tigers, man. Keep y'all's heads up. We'll be right back at it next week, ready to rock and roll. If you haven't already, man, please please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody. Drop your comments. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we can get all the live updates about anything going on in the recruiting world or just in LSU sports in general. Like I said, man, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend and have a great week. And we will see you back here soon.